The rain came down in sheets that November evening, the kind of rain that makes you grateful for a roof over your head and a warm place to rest. Thomas Reed stood at his kitchen window, watching the storm roll in across the small Indiana town he'd called home for nearly 40 years. At 58, he'd learned to appreciate the simple things: a sturdy house, even if it needed repairs, and the sound of his daughter's laughter from the next room. "Dad," the power's flickering again, called out Emma, his 19-year-old daughter, looking up from her textbooks spread across the dining table. She was studying for her nursing program finals, determined to build a better life than the one they'd scraped together. Thomas smiled at her, that familiar ache in his chest reminding him of all the years he'd raised her alone. His wife Sarah had passed when Emma was just 7, taken too soon by an illness they couldn't afford to fight properly. 12 years of being both mother and father had left its mark: the gray in his beard, the permanent tiredness around his eyes, the calluses on his hands from working 2 jobs to keep them afloat. "I'll check the breaker," he said, moving toward the basement door. "Probably just the storm." He was heading down the creaky stairs when he heard Emma call out again, urgency in her voice this time. "Dad! There's someone at the door." Thomas climbed back up, puzzled. Nobody came calling this late, especially not in weather like this. Through the rain-streaked window of their front door, he could make out a slight figure, soaked through, shivering on their small porch. He opened the door to find a young woman, maybe 23 or 24, with dark hair plastered to her face and clothes dripping onto the worn welcome mat. She looked up at him with eyes that held equal parts desperation and embarrassment. "I'm so sorry to bother you," she said, her teeth chattering. "My car broke down about a mile back, and my phone's dead. I've been walking for over an hour, and yours was the first house with lights on. I just need to call for help." Thomas didn't hesitate. His mother had raised him right, and he tried to pass those same values on to Emma. You helped people when they needed it. That was simply how things were done. Come in," he said, stepping aside. "Emma, grab some towels, would you?" The young woman stepped inside, leaving puddles on the hardwood floor Thomas had refinished himself last summer. "I'm sorry about the mess," she said. "I'm Lily. Lily Morrison. I really didn't mean to impose like this." "Nonsense," Thomas said warmly. "I'm Thomas, and that's my daughter Emma. You're not imposing, you're in trouble, and we're going to help. That's what neighbors do, even if we've never met before." Emma appeared with an armload of towels, and her natural kindness took over. "Oh, you poor thing. You must be freezing. Here, let's get you dried off. Dad, should I make some tea?" "That'd be perfect, sweetheart." As Emma guided Lily toward a chair, Thomas noticed things about their unexpected guest. Despite being drenched and disheveled, there was something refined about her. The quality of her clothes, even soaked, suggested they weren't cheap. Her accent was educated, East Coast perhaps. But right now, none of that mattered. What mattered was that she was cold, wet, and needed help. "Let me try calling a tow truck for you," Thomas said, reaching for his phone. But when he dialed, the line was dead. The storm had taken out the phone service too. "Cell service is always spotty out here in bad weather," he explained apologetically. "And it looks like the landline's down. We might have to wait until morning to get help. The storm's supposed to clear by dawn." Lily's face fell, but she quickly composed herself. "I understand. I'm so sorry to be such a burden. Maybe I could just wait here until the phones come back, and then I'll call someone to pick me up." Thomas exchanged a glance with Emma. They both knew what needed to be said. "You'll do no such thing," Thomas said firmly but kindly. "It's almost 10 o'clock, the storm's getting worse, and you're exhausted. We've got a guest room, it's small, but the bed's comfortable. You'll stay the night, and in the morning, we'll sort everything out." Lily looked like she might cry. "I couldn't possibly." "You can, and you will," Emma interjected with a smile. "Dad's right. Besides, it'll be nice to have some company. It's usually just the two of us rattling around this old house." Over the next hour, they settled Lily in. Emma found some of her own clothes that might fit. Lily was taller and slimmer, but they made do. Thomas reheated some leftover stew, and they all sat around the kitchen table, the storm howling outside while warmth and light filled the small room inside. "This is delicious," Lily said, savoring the simple beef stew. "My mother used to make something like this when I was young." "It's just what I had on hand," Thomas said modestly. "Nothing fancy, but it fills you up." They talked as they ate. Lily explained she'd been driving cross-country, taking time to think about her life and future. She'd grown up in Connecticut, she said, and was trying to figure out what she really wanted to do with her life. She kept things vague, and Thomas didn't press. Everyone had a right to their privacy. For his part, Thomas shared his own story, growing up in this very town, meeting Sarah at the county fair when they were both 18, building a life together. He spoke of her passing with the kind of gentle sadness that comes from years of living with loss. "It was hard," he admitted, his hands wrapped around his coffee mug. "Harder than anything I'd ever faced. But I had Emma, and she needed me. That gave me purpose, something to wake up for every morning. We got through it together." Emma reached over and squeezed her father's hand. "Dad gave up a lot for me," she said softly. "He was supposed to become a teacher. He'd just finished his degree when Mom got sick. But with medical bills and raising a kid alone, he had to take whatever work paid the bills." "You don't give up anything when it's for someone you love," Thomas said simply. "That's not sacrifice, that's just love." Lily was quiet for a moment, her eyes glistening. "Your daughter is lucky to have you," she finally said. "Not everyone understands that kind of love." The conversation drifted to lighter topics. Emma talked about nursing school, her excitement about helping people, her dreams of working in pediatrics someday. Lily listened with genuine interest, asking thoughtful questions, encouraging the young woman's ambitions. "You'll make a wonderful nurse," Lily told her. "I can tell you have the heart for it." As the evening wore on, Thomas noticed how comfortable Lily seemed in their modest home. She didn't look around with pity or discomfort at the worn furniture or the patches in the wallpaper Thomas kept meaning to fix. Instead, she seemed genuinely at ease, even happy to be there. Around midnight, Thomas declared it was time for everyone to get some sleep. "We're all early risers in this house," he said with a smile. "Morning comes quick." He showed Lily to the guest room, apologizing for its simplicity. "It's not much," he said. "We mostly use it for storage, but the bed's good. Emma and I cleaned it out last month when my sister visited." "It's perfect," Lily assured him, and he could tell she meant it. "Thank you, Thomas. For everything. You didn't have to do any of this." "Yes, I did," he said gently. "That's what being human means, helping each other when we can. Sleep well, Lily." In the morning, Thomas woke to the smell of coffee brewing. Puzzled, he was always the first one up, he padded into the kitchen to find Lily already dressed, standing at the stove. "I hope you don't mind," she said with a smile. "I found eggs and bread, and I thought I'd make breakfast as a small thank you. It's the least I could do." Thomas watched as this young woman, who'd appeared on his doorstep as a stranger just hours ago, moved comfortably around his kitchen, making scrambled eggs and toast. There was something both practiced and rusty about her cooking, as if she'd once known how to do this but hadn't in a long time. Emma appeared, drawn by the smell of food and the sound of voices. "Well, this is a nice surprise," she said cheerfully. They ate breakfast together, and Thomas used his cell phone to call a tow truck. Service had been restored with the dawn, and help was on the way. Within an hour, there was a knock at the door. But it wasn't just a tow truck driver. Standing on the porch was a man in an expensive suit, looking worried and relieved in equal measure. "Miss Morrison," he said, his voice professional but warm. "Your father has been very concerned. He'll be glad to know you're safe." Lily's expression shifted, becoming more guarded. She turned to Thomas and Emma, and they could see a mixture of emotions playing across her face: gratitude, embarrassment, and something else. Regret, perhaps. "I haven't been entirely honest with you," she said quietly. "My full name is Lily Morrison. My father is Richard Morrison." Thomas didn't recognize the name, but Emma's eyes widened. "The Richard Morrison? The real estate developer?" Lily nodded, looking uncomfortable.